12:05, so I think we'll go ahead and get started. So how is everybody? It's a fine day. We wanted to bring in Candice because you have probably seen Candice in the Tom Ferry groups talking about her hack for ZMAs. And if you don't know what a ZMA is, it's basically a CMA, which a lot of us try to do, like a CMA a day or a CMA on home anniversaries, which are great for people that we already know. But sometimes when you're reaching out to someone like your farm or you're doing like mass mail marketing, it's nice to be able to just do something quick and dirty, like using Zillow's estimate. And so that's where Candice's process really comes in. Is it's a great way to do a really quick value that we're just pulling from Zillow, send it out with a note like, this is what Zillow says your home is worth, but I would love to give you my opinion or something to that effect, and get it out to the masses. So that can be super time consuming if you're looking up each house and, doing it that way. And so she created a process that is a really automated and quick and easy way to do it. And Candice was able to do that because she is a total nerd and totally she like geeks out on AI and has so much fun doing all of this technology stuff that's like my worst enemy, but Candice is awesome at it. So if you don't know Candice Grigg, she is in Las Vegas and she drives a pink bug and she started her career in new home sales. So she is the guru for everything new construction. I have personally sent her my referrals in Las Vegas and she has done a phenomenal job. So she's a great realtor, a great friend, and I am excited to have her here today. So I'll hand it over to you, Candice, to kind of show us what you do and how you get it done.
All right, so let's hope the technical difficulties will be void from here. I think I'm set up, ladies. Let me start sharing my screen. Okay, go ahead and allow sharing for me there, Karina.
Oh, whoops, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We logged out and logged in and had to redo that.
Okay, not a problem, guys.
Okay, you should be good now.
Okay, so ultimately what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to go through it in a nice just flow so you can concept of, oh, this is what it is. Then I'm going to go back to it and I'm going to slow down on the drag and drop steps. Okay.
Nice.
I have made it really, really easy though. I've got an SOP. The point of this and automating it is so that you can give it to a VA, an assistant. You can give it to anybody. You don't need to be doing this. And it's really quick for them. So absolutely. So you're going to need a few tools. You will need Chat 4.0. Perplexity and the other ones are not going to do it for you. They do not add the plugins. They just don't have that feature that is smooth. Then you will need, of course, to have a Canva. Now, some people have told me they need the Pro to accept my template. I'm not sure. You'll have to figure that out. But I'm going to show you how to do a ZMA letter. And that's the whole process of it. But I'm going to show you how this process, you can use a lot of things to customize your marketing. You can use this, all that we're doing is grabbing a picture of the home and using it in different ways. We just happen to be using Zillow because it started as a Zestimate ZMA type campaign, okay? I'll go ahead and share my screen with you. Let me see which screen am I on actually. Okay, hang on a second, guys. Hang on. Whoa. Okay. There, that's the one I want. Okay, we'll go ahead and go down in here where we need to go. All right, so I'm going to go over to Chat, okay? So this is where we're going to create everything that's going to go into Canva. So real quick, this is what I'm going to be working with, and it's in a separate piece of paper. We're going to make sure you get it, so just follow along. Not a lot of notes needed here, okay? And you'll get the playback. So I'm going to take a CSV file. Here's the other thing. Most of us get our farms with a CSV format. It's best if you have that. So what I've done with this prompt is you no longer have to edit your CSV file and eliminate the conflicting categories that you might use for your CRM. You're just pulling what you need for this project. So you can have a real clean page that has like 5 columns. And then that way it's uneditable. You're not giving your master farm to your assistant, okay? So right here is the prompt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to load a document. So right here, I'm sorry guys, I have to lower this real quick. This is the most, because I can't see my, oh, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna load my CSV file. So you all have a CSV file. Do it in this order, much easier. So right here, and in your SOP, it tells you how to do this already as you go along, so you don't have to take notes. Plus right here, now I'm gonna go from my computer, I'm gonna load up this file, okay? So I did mine under desktops, I've got it under favorites, and we're gonna go ahead and do this here, okay. I don't know why it did that. Okay, I'm in the wrong place. Here we go. So here's one of my farms, CSV. It's not cleaned up. I'm loading it up right now. Okay.
So Candice, can I ask a question real quick, or do you want me to wait? Okay.
No. Yeah.
So I just want to be sure that everybody's clear. So like I use Remine or a software like similar to that. I'm going in and I'm getting the group of addresses that I want to send this letter to. Right?
Correct. And when you export it, you have a choice.
Yep.
So export as clean as you can for this if you just want to do a fresh export. But you want to have not just home address, you need that tax address.
Okay, great point.
So populate that if you have Remine or if you're having a title person or whatever, because they'll just do whatever, you know, and you have all that jumbo in your sheet and you just don't need it. It gets confusing. So that was where a lot of the failure was, and I was getting hundreds of messages. It was really hard to keep up. So I created, just for you guys, it's the first time today, and I'll spread it later on, but before the prompt that I've been promoting, I created a prompt ahead of it that cleans up your list and does the population all in one step.
So I'm uploading my CSV file, and this prompt you're going to provide to us will put the columns in the right order and eliminate the other columns we don't need.
Yeah, exactly. It's only going to pull what you need,
perfect.
and it's going to be inactive. It's going to come out as an HTML file. All HTML is a hot link. It keeps up with the internet. So everything is static. Nobody can change it except for the last column. Okay. And I will show that to you real quick since it is a question real quick. Okay, can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we're going to do. I personally have come down to my sheet. I only want, now it's good to have the 2 owners because people aren't married nowadays. So you don't want to insult Mrs. Owner 1, first and last. Owner 2, first and last. Property full address, tax full address. And then boom, here's what we're going to create today.
That's really helpful to get the visual of like what the end goal is.
Yes. Okay, good.
And I failed earlier to introduce Emily, but most of you should know Emily from Sarasota. She's helping to moderate and ask questions, as well as Christine in Madison, Wisconsin is keeping an eye on the chat for questions there. So if you guys have questions, you can pop them into the chat and Emily or Christine will get those asked for you.
Yes, for sure. And I'll make sure to get to all those for sure. Just to go over it real quick, what a prompt is just you're the boss, you're telling it what to do. And these computers are smarter than we give them credit for. And I keep bossing. It took me about 2 hours and I kept bossing this chat around, telling it to do over. I didn't like this, I didn't like that. And it came out with a perfect, well, perfect. So it says, edit my file to include only the categories we just talked about. Add a column to this CSV file and label it Zillow link. Use this method to create a new column with an attractive link, meaning they can't, you know, click on anything but that. So then that's the computer lingo, step 1, step 2, it's telling it what format to populate it in, okay? So nerdy stuff you don't really need to know, guys. All you need to know is click and paste. So there we go. We're gonna copy it. Now you guys will be clicking and pasting from your Word doc for the first time. And we'll go over some other stuff I forgot real quick, but let's get through this one. All right, so I've loaded my file. I've clicked and pasted this, okay? The big mistake is do not try to add commas. Like, it has to be this. Don't get fancy. Don't try to change it. Maybe because you've seen a typo. It doesn't matter. Don't change it. So here we go, guys. I'm going to push the button, and now chat is going to do what I commanded it to do. It is my submissive employee. If you don't get dominant with chat, it will take you down a rabbit hole, and you will be like, I don't like AI.
And Candice, while the chat is kind of like buffering right now, we have a couple of people just confirming. So if they get so Paige was asking, so you get the list from your title rep, or you get your list from a CSV file download online, like a service like Espresso Agent or Remind or wherever. Your title rep does not need to have Chat GPT. We're just going to them to get the list. The list just needs to be in a CSV format.
Yeah, and if it doesn't happen to be, guess what? Chat will convert it for you. So don't, like, if you're having a stubborn person not understand what you need, it's okay. Get the information, put it in chat and say, hey, make this a CSV file. Boom.
Amazing.
So cool.
Chat is very good at converting. Chat is very good at reading pictures and making something from a picture, a whole SOP or whole marketing. But I will stress to you guys, if you're going to be using this, only have one persona for this.
Okay, we'll get it. Let's get into that next.
Yeah. So we got it populated. So there we go. So it's doing this, right? So it did that. I processed the file as requested, meaning it cleaned it up. You can now download it. So it should, let's hope it's correct. It should be exactly similar. Now it will have me, so I need to label it so I don't lose it. LEO test. Oh, LOE, sorry guys. Okay, there we go. So there it is.
Okay. So will you
So
click
it came
on this?
from there. Okay. We loaded. We clicked and paste after our file. And then we pushed the button and it gave us that, which originally looked like a mess. It had all kind of crap in there I didn't want. Postal codes and all that. We don't need that. So for right now, what questions do we have?
So can you just maybe click on one of the Zoom links just so we can see? So Chat GPT went out and found each Zillow link for the property.
Correct. Yeah. So you want the sample here? Okay. So this is what we have. So it's a good idea to just kind of click and check. I've never had it wrong. Never. But we'll just click and check. So picture should show 4428 Socrates. Now down here, you see why it's important. You've got right here, this person lives in San Diego. So you don't want to send the ZMA to the address. It won't get there, right? So we're going to view it on Zillow. Okay. So this is where the easy part comes. Now I had to redesign my template letter. I'm going to give you guys a template in Canva that's already designed with the square space in the size it should be. I redesigned it because Zillow changed their format and how they show their pictures. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get snippy with it. We're going to use our snip tool, whether you're Apple or whatever, you figure that out. I don't know the commands, but we're going to use our snip tool. So I'm going to turn on my snip tool.
So you're grabbing this photo to import it into the letter that you're going to send out to your clients.
Exactly. So ultimately, we have a few windows open, and I'll get to that in 1 second. Now I'm going to give you a tip. When you take this, make sure you give enough room. You don't want a lot of sky, right? And you don't have to keep readjusting your box. So get used to it, and you're just going to, get a lot of that because you want this. Okay, now it's saved, right? On my wizard here. So now here's my letter. We'll get to that, but I just had Canva open, right? Because we've got 3 windows open: Chat, Canva, and we've got our sheet that we're working with. There you go.
Look at that.
This is usually the part people are like, what?
Only because everyone's audio is off. Everyone was like, whoa, wait a second.
So what I've done in the template to help the ladies out, I'm gonna make sure and give you guys the most, is this frame is locked. So you can just, that's how, if you lock this picture and keep it locked, guys, because you'll get the template, but just in case your assistant or somebody's messing around with it and it's taking too long, if this says unlock, then it's locked, okay? You want that locked, because why? And I'll do it again for you guys. I'm going to actually detach the image. Let's say, that's a good point. Let's say you put the wrong image in there by accident or some shit, right? So you detach that image, okay? And then you actually just trash that image. If you try to trash the thing, you're going to trash your format, right? So the reason why I keep it that way and I keep it locked is because now I'm going to paste, right? So there's that. Why, if you lock it, why it's so much easier instead of farting around is because when you go like that with little effort, boom, it sizes it up. Now I played with that quite a bit. Check your clipping if you think it's off, but these are not locked. These are the only variables that should be unlocked. Okay, this is locked and this is locked because it's a 2-page thing. You start messing with that, then you got to line up 2 things. Not fun.
But all this is in Canva. So like if I wanted to use a different font, I can just change the font.
Oh,
right?
yeah, no, I just gave this because everybody will ask for the letter. I didn't use to provide it, and it just helps people get a format. So here you could be a circle with your picture. Here, it just that my banner for my business works really good right here. So that's why that's there. And again, it drags and drops, sizes it automatically. And then here, I personally sign it, okay? So where the multiplying comes, they're like, okay, great, Candice, that's 1, right? So you see this little, it's a hidden command here. So what you would do essentially is you've got your big list, okay? So you've got your list, you've clicked on that one, you're gonna go down the line, but you need to populate the other letters to do that, right? So this is where the bulk creation comes in, and you don't have to take these notes. It's in the SOP. It's really super, super easy. But this is how I access my bulk create is over here on the side here. We call it the app area. It will have, it disappears on you sometimes. So give me 1 second. Here it is right here. If you lose it, just go to the top and type in bulk create and it'll pull up. But you bulk create, right? So bulk create, when you hit that, I'm gonna now upload. Okay, so I'm gonna upload that file that we just did, if I can find it.
You called it LOE.
LOE, is that what I called it? Okay, yeah, hang on.
LOE something, but.
Okay, there we go. LOE, it should pull it for me. Oh, it's just a little slower, it's all. Okay, hang on. Sorry, ladies. I just
it was LEO. You had mixed
LEO, because I did the wrong thing, didn't I?
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
We're both trying to help and we're making it worse.
No, it's okay. I forget where I saved it to, and I made it my favorite. Now I forgot where I put it. So hang on, here it goes. It's right here. It's a Google Doc. That's, oh, it's all files. Here we go. Sorry, ladies. Boom, here we go. Duh. Okay. All right, so what I just did, it's a little slower because we're on the Zoom and everything. I just loaded up that file that I just created with chat, okay? I just loaded that HTML file, right? I should have loaded that. It's really slow on here for some reason because I think there's a lag. Give me 1 second, ladies. It should go and populate. Come on now, let's get with it, Canva. Okay, so we'll just enter manually. I'll show you what it does. So when you load that, it's gonna have all your data, right? And then you're going to tell it, okay, what do you want to pull from it? So I already have first name, right? So I just want to put the first name on every letter, right? So, and your VA or your assistant should be able to help you. You really, honestly, if you're doing this, you shouldn't know how to do all this. You should, but if you are just starting out, it's not that hard. It will come naturally to you, I promise. So we're going to go Candice. And normally what would be 50, because there's 50 on that list. It would have 50 people. And then you would say, I only want to pull the first name, right? And you can add things if you wanted, but let's just make it simple for teaching purposes, okay? So where I put that little Q is now going to put the first. So I'm going to go ahead and I drew this, and that's part of the bulk. You put wherever you want, and you tell it this square is going to put the first name. Then you load that data, and it'll go boom, 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 and it'll populate it, right? So I'm going to continue now, and normally there'd be a bunch there, but I only wanted to do the one. So it's going to generate the one letter. Now here's the thing. If you load all that up and you're not sure, like you might have a mistake, you're going to have all of these letters populated instantly. And it's going to be a big clog up if you have to change it. You have to erase all of them. So test it first and make sure it's populating. But by all means.
Candice, can you say that again, just to be sure we're understanding?
Sure.
So what do we test?
So what we're going to test is when you're just going to put one of those contracts.
Oh, okay.
Just put one. Right?
Like you're doing here.
Yeah. And just put one and test it, you know, put your name, put yourself there, because you want it. This is why the error comes and why it's a pain in the butt. This little square and stuff, it varies. And like, you might have to fart around with it a couple of times, and then it's fine for all 200 letters, but you don't want to have to redo that on 200 letters. I did that the hard way. It's not fun.
Okay.
So normally, and that's the case, you would have all of your first names here for all 50 addresses. It's not going to pull up the address because you don't need the address on this letter. You only populate a column for first name or last name or something else. If you want to populate your own signature, you could do that as well. All right, so I'm generating the design that I wanted. So a lot of people don't mess around with the name, and I highly suggest, if you're getting stuck on that, move forward, move. Done is better than perfect. Get rid of the dear or handwrite it if you want, honestly, because this hard work is being done. So if you want to handwrite and do some hand personalization, which will help, I hand sign every single one of these letters because I've saved so much time. It's nothing to do. So there you go. There's Candice. It would say whoever you want it to be. If you had 100 letters, it would be 100 in succession. So I'm going to add a page just for training purposes, because this is what you would be looking at. Actually, I need to duplicate. Sorry, ladies. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this page, and I'm going to start from scratch, and we're going to do it again so you can see what is going on. Okay, so if we had a bunch of letters, here we are. We've got the first house because it matches our name right here, right? So ultimately, our first contact here will be the first contact in the letter. If we like this letter and we've populated all of them, this makes it very easy, side-by-side screen, that you're looking at Reginald, and you already see what address is he in. So when you click that to populate his picture, you can verify that you're plopping it into the right letter. You will not get mixed up. Okay.
So just to be clear, we do have to go in and crop every Zillow image and put that in Canva. The part that auto-populates is the name.
Yeah, so you will, but it goes really fast. When you have all of these letters populated, ladies, you have 200 letters or whoever is in that farm ready to go, right? So we did one, and now I'm going to do another one. I've got a total closed
really
screen.
Quick, Candice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The space, there's some questions in the chat. The space on the first sentence, is that for the city? And does Zillow populate that, or do you type that in?
Okay, hang on. Let me get back to that real quick.
Just on the on the Canva screen, like the first sentence there on the letter.
Okay. So first, I special right here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I just left that blank because I'm using this as a master, and I have many farms that I'm populating for.
Got it. So it's just for us to edit.
Yeah, yeah. So you guys can definitely edit. I didn't want you to forget and send the letter out. Good point. I forgot all about that.
And then Melissa asked, do we send to both the sellers? But since you populated Mr. and Mrs., so you're sending one to each?
Well, you know what I do? I just do both first names.
Okay.
I don't mess around with last name.
Okay.
And I usually will put the lady first.
Okay.
I'll rearrange her if I have to, because they're the one calling, you know, it does work. Just little things like that, personalizing it for her, signing the letter, all of these successes. So now we've got a different picture, and I have, let me go ahead and populate it again, and we'll do it again so you can see. So you'll have, once you get that chat part out of the way, guys, you're really going to just have two screens open, whoever's doing that for you.
So every time you do it, like you're just creating a duplicate page and then doing the next one, create a duplicate page, do the next one, and then you print them all at the end.
Yeah. So
Okay.
essentially, so I'm going to do it again for us. So let's just pretend I have the two windows together. I can't really do it
Right. While
right
you're
here
sharing.
as effectively. So I get snippy with it, and I'm going to make sure not to get too much sky. And I'm going to go right on out. I'm going to get that address. Boom. Now, normally I wouldn't have to move this because I've got two screens, or it would be split screen, right? So it's really effective. You go there and you just paste really quickly. Boom, you paste. And then you don't have to size it. It's just going to grab it. Then you do it again. You do it again. It really is fast.
Someone is asking, would you be willing to show a letter how you set it up whenever you are addressing both owners, so like owner one and owner two? Because these examples
Yeah,
are
I could
one.
probably do that. Yeah, I could definitely do that, because I can add another column for you. Yeah, that's no problem. All right, so let's just do enter manually, because it's recognizing that. So we're going to add text. So if I want to clear the table, okay, I can clear it, but I want to add the text. Okay, so here is where you put what you want. You're going to put first. Okay, and you should probably, now this is going to depend on how you have your CSV file, because some may not have a Mrs., right? So you could get complicated doing that. And for learning purposes, I don't recommend doing that right away. Okay, so I've added these three. So let's do this. We're going to do Joe. And let's say I commanded it to do first two, right? Because the CSV says first name two. That's how my CSV file is. So I just do that. So let's put Sally. Okay. So where you have to do is we have to actually add and drag and drop the field. So that's the part I didn't really want to get teaching on for you guys, because it is something you can deep dive into. And honestly, some of you won't do that because you have an assistant. So you don't even want to go down that road. But you populate it with the two names, and then it's going to automatically populate, but it's going to populate. There we go. So we'll do it again. I don't know if it's going to take that one or not. So let's see. Let's see if it generates real quick. But essentially, you would have two squares. As long as you marker it, this is a marker. If you marker two markers, one marker is this, one marker is this, it will put whatever you want in your markers. You just have to have enough markers. Marker, and it knows that's first two. I didn't set up a marker for this, but that's what it would do. And then you would generate your file, and it would do both. But I don't want to get you guys confused on those logistics. I want you just to get this part, because I want you to get 25 out next week. And I want you to be able to do it, whether you put the first name in or not, handwrite it, whatever. And then you can get fancy. It's just not smart to get too fancy in the beginning, okay? So I do, go ahead.
If that question was asked because of what I typed in, what I was really meaning is putting, like, you had, let's just say it was Joe was the first homeowner, Bob was the second homeowner. Can you not do more than one at a time and putting in do you have to do one address at a time? Meaning drop photo, put the address, move to the next one, drop photo, put in the name.
Well, you don't have to put any address at all. So before you're dropping photos, you've already populated this with the names.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so picture comes second, and the SOP will help you with that. So picture comes second. So I did a test, right? But picture comes second. You pull up your letter, you have to have that ready, right? So you pull that up, but it will generate those first, right? And it's got the first name on it. And that's what helps you double check this as you're working with your file, right? Because this is going to say Reginald because it's matching this. And then when you've got Zillow open, you're not going to make a mistake because you've got Reginald. You just check real quick. Oh yeah, that's Reginald. Then you're going to scroll down and you're going to do it again. This is how easy you're going to do that. Okay, and we're just going to do, because I have the short screen, but we're just going to show you guys how you can do it with two simultaneous screens. Okay, hang on. I think Apple has a different snippet tool. Okay, and if you have the two screens, that wouldn't be in your way, so you're much faster, guys. And then, hang on, so that's going to scroll cell us. Let me take that out of the way. And then you are going to paste it. So, and then you're going to scroll down, do it again. So once you've done the creation, you have two windows open. Your letters are already populated because you need them populated first so that you can assembly line the picture. Go into chat, pull your SV file, get it done. Then make sure your letter's ready. Then you upload your data and you go from there. I wouldn't worry about the bulk create right now and putting the name in. You can just bulk create a bunch of them, but it's really up to you. I mean, it is one extra step. It took me about 15 minutes to learn it. It's not that hard, and it is in the SOP step by step, and there's a video link. It's, I think, a 1-30-second video.
And just so before we move forward, Monica's asking about on your list of like the data list, it looks like some people have owner to NAN, like as their first and last names.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So that's because it's corporation usually. So you're going to get to see how that works, right? It's either that or they don't have one. It's just mean null and void. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And not all of it's going to populate because it doesn't you know, go along with every property. Like this one here is our biggest hedge holder in Vegas and Fisker Properties. So yeah, they've only got that. But in this case, Reginald's probably a single dude. So he's got nobody here. That or he's smart. She ain't on the thing if they're not married. So yeah, there you go.
So Monica's asking, so you can leave that blank, or does the list need to include the NAN, or should she just?
That's on you. That is on you. If you own, I only do owner 1 and 2 because it's always going to have just owner 1. It's just that's confusing you, then don't only have it populate. But in your prompt, it's there. So I wouldn't get too technical. Just ignore it because you start messing around with the prompt, then it's going to screw everything up. So I like this because it's more personalization. The point of this letter, or else everybody would just make photocopies of that page and write something on it, is to be as personal as possible. So if you want to do that and you have the extra name, that's why I do it. But you don't have to. Heck no. You can just ignore it. But I would not change the chat prompt to eliminate owner 2. You don't screw it up. Just ignore it.
Got it. Okay.
All right, so now that you see the principle, I have one more trick I want to show you.
Yeah.
Right, you want to see other ways you can use this? Because this is boring, but yeah, it's cool. I had some fun ways you guys can use this, right? And this is really cool. So I have, the bottom line to this is it's all getting a CMA out. It's all getting a hand raised for a home value, no matter how you package it, right? All this system does is happens to be pulling it from Zillow. So we don't have to use it just for the Zestimate. Heck no. So I am just sending out this to my neighborhood. and it's a postcard. And I've got the link in your SOP. And on one side, it's the house talking to their owner saying, hey, it's me, your home. I'm feeling a little insecure. Can you please scan the QR code and tell me how much I'm worth? And then there's the back, right? So you would be able to personalize a postcard no different than you would the letter once you get it down, because the name can go right in here. All you would do is you would create the area. You would just put the trigger in there, and it would do the same thing as it's going to do in your letter. And in that case, you would probably want it the full address or whatnot. But right here, the reason why you would want to do this is because printers charge a lot of money to do this, a lot. And they're telling us it's a smart postcard campaign. It's sometimes 3 times the charge of a regular postcard campaign that does not have an individualized picture. So you can now send your one print file, whether it be letters or postcards, with the freedom of you controlling your costs. It's already customized. It already has each individual address on it. You just can't use EDDM for this, and that's not the point of this.
Right.
Wow. So much.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear what the ladies, what they
So,
want to use it for, really. Like if they,
mhm.
some may not want
So-
to do ZMAs.
If you have this postcard, then you print it through Canva or what, or download it and print it?
I go through my local postnet because they have a bulk permit, and they will use their bulk permit, and these postcards are like half the price of a letter. So I use it in companionship to get people to do something. And I already put their bulk permit because I use them a lot, and it's already there. I'm already going to populate this, and basically they don't have to set up any presses to be different for addresses and stuff. And that's what takes the time and the cost for printing. So you're sending them one complete file that all they have to do is print it. They don't have to isolate it, transfer addresses, and charge you for all that stuff.
Okay.
Super smart.
So smart. Candice, then does that QR code go to like your HomeBot page?
This one here. So no, I don't like HomeBot. I do a little bit,
Okay.
but it's kind of dated. So I'm lucky enough in Brookshire. It works, but they've revamped it recently. It's much better, but people are so used to it. They think it's the same old HomeBot. So it's really hard to get them to go back. So I personally use my Brookshire Hathaway community. I use the community first because I want them to see what the community value is. That's this campaign, right? Or you could take it to your brokerage, home value, whatever home, you take it anywhere you want.
Sure.
Landing page where they punch in their information that leads to your CRM, and then it's automated. Like if you're going to automate this, you might as well, and you want to do it in the masses, you might want to think about where else you can automate to control the response, because that's the scary part about being so fastly and grossly animated and doing so much of this in bulk. You're like, yeah, you get it in the mail. Like I just sent out 680. So I haven't used this a lot because I was doing expired, but I was doing my expired letters like this as well.
So including their photo?
Sure did.
Wow.
I
That's
modified
definitely
I modified Jimmy's letter, and I was like, you know what? I ain't getting enough action.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see how it works. But use this system to personalize your letter, your invitations. Like it could be, whatever you want to use it for. Honestly, the imagination, it's up to you guys. The idea of the game is to personalize, shock, and be different than the other people. And that's why a lot of people didn't do ZMAs. And that's why it works so much, because very few people are doing it, and it stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Candice,
So cool,
we have a request that you include what you did with Jimmy's campaign in your how-to SOP that we send out. So if you have it written out, and you're going to send it.
Okay, hang on. Let me make a note because my ideas come and go so fast. Hang on.
That's okay. No, we would appreciate it if you want to share it.
Anyway, I would have texted you, Candice.
Right. So I modified the Jimmy letter. Yeah.
Jane asked a question. What's the response you've gotten from these letters and postcards? And I know that you haven't been doing these recently because you were doing the expireds, but I mean, those ones that you sent out for the expireds, do you have any data or anything on like what type of response you're getting?
It's so silly because I didn't even follow up. I developed this real quick and I didn't even consciously pick a farm. It was just my last house that I sold. And I just spit out a bunch. I didn't even have the postage and I ran out of envelopes. I only sent out 78 and I got 2 callbacks.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, wow.
That's really good.
That's great.
So it can work. It can definitely work. But you know, think about it, you can put that picture on there and do all kind of like follow up. Like I'm thinking about doing like, because the ZMA is out there once, CMAs are out there once, but nobody really has a follow up, right? So what if you have a series of maybe 2 or 3 letters? Hey, did you get it? Your house is screaming at you. It still wants its value, you know, something.
That's what I was thinking. Like if you could create like this is the first one you send and then the second and the third, and you just do them every month or something like that. So you're following up with more mail and then a phone call. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then it's already there and you don't have to do that week because that's your task. The idea of this is, you know, we want to go on listing appointments. And if we've blocked out 2 hours to do 10 of these, like seriously, that's not smart.
No,
Not
definitely
the
not.
time. Okay, so a couple of things that I just, as you were talking, made notes of. There's a big difference between the mailing list and the property, or like the mailing address and the property address. So we have to have 2 separate columns for that. And then in the Canva portion, the picture comes second. So even though you showed us the picture first, do the picture second.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, awesome.
And I'm sorry, Emily, do you have something else?
No.
Okay. I know that as we get doing this, we're all probably going to have questions. So there's a chat that's associated with this event in the Facebook group. If you open up the Facebook event, you'll see join the chat. Or open the chat and that will you'll join and then you'll get notifications in there. But Candice is going to join that chat. So as you are working through this, if you have questions, you can ask those questions there and either somebody else who's also doing it can help you or Candice can help you. Of course, you can also reach out to her directly, but we just wanted to make a place where we can all kind of ask questions and learn from each other as we start to implement this. So feel free to jump in there. And then, you know, this is like our ZMA, right? But a lot of us are doing CMAs. And I was just talking with Emily a little bit about how she's doing CMAs and she has some really cute resources that she uses to do her CMAs and kind of drop them off. Versus like I email mine, but she's doing like printing them and delivering them. So I wanted to see if you wanted to share those, Emily. I don't know if you have them handy, but.
Sure. So Candace's letter essentially gets people to raise their hand, right? And so then we prepare the CMA and deliver it to people. So whether you're mailing it or dropping it off, there's just a couple of different options that I'll show real quick, and of course include the links in the follow-up email. So I have 2 different means of delivering it. So a box like really stands out, and I was not brave enough because sometimes I start things and don't finish them. So I didn't want to order like 1,000 boxes with, you know, like geared towards like CMA if this wasn't going to be something I followed all the way through. So I ordered black boxes on Amazon and then just use like a label, and I'll put all of this in there, have all of the steps. So I print a label that's geared with my logo on it and such. It covers up half this box. And then I deliver these boxes. I don't mail them. So I deliver them in my neighborhood. So this is what I use for my farm. I have found that these envelopes, this is a smaller one, so I have 2 sizes, but I'll link the larger size, but I just wanted you to see visually. This is better for mailing the ZMA. So this is for a little bit higher of a price point where it's delivered and you put more in there, and people are just much more likely you know, to keep this, and you know, it just holds a little bit more and just looks a little classier. But this can be mailed, like if you want to just drop it in the mail. So I found it does not work to use like a spiral binder type thing. Like this is more of a stapler, and put the papers in and then mail it off. So those two options. And then I think like branding stickers. So I just really am like passionate about putting your branding on a sticker to include in your packaging. You can, and then these stickers can be used in so many different ways, like on the back of cards when you send them out or whatnot. But so yeah, I just throw a sticker like on one of these smaller things, address it with a smaller label, and mail it out. So easy peasy.
I have a tip about that too for your when you do send your ZMAs through the expireds and sending. I literally have probably sent out about 2,800 letters, and there's a lot of pains I've solved that I don't want you all to go through. Dark envelopes are fancy, dark blue, dark black. I see everybody using that. I used a black with a tuxedo white pen. It was beautiful, a lot of opens. But when you start testing it in your farms, dark envelopes were getting no deliveries, late deliveries, because they have to process it manually, every dark envelope. If it's not going to show that light gray, it's been processed, you know, that stamp the machine, they have to hand process it, put it through where a sticker is, then the machine goes and barcodes it, right? Don't bother, it'll hurt your business, right? So get something that is not dark, that you can just see a quick black mark on. The other tip is self-stick envelopes. Of course, people want those because they don't want nobody licking their envelope. It's gross, right? And they don't know if you licked it or not, so they may not even open that. So I've thought about that, right? So the peel stickers, those cost sometimes 10 cents per envelope more. Times that up, that's hundreds of dollars, right? So do what Christine does. I have a round sticker that's branded, and I don't put a return on the front. It's colorful, it's beautiful, and I put it right on the back of the envelope, seal it. I do it big enough to where it'll do a nice seal. And then that way I don't have to lick it, but I'm also saving the money on the envelopes. And those envelopes that are gummy and not peel, those are printable. And you get them cheaper. You can get them down to 6 cents. It's the cheapest I could find colored envelopes, guys, 6 cents. Right now, if you're on Amazon, you're paying up to 23 cents a piece. Stamps are 68 cents a piece. So go through the process of, you know, protecting your funds for your budget. That's why I say those are mistakes. I don't know how many I lost, honestly.
That's so smart. I would have never thought of that.
I did not know that at all.
A couple of people,
Yeah.
Candice, we're just curious. So like from start to finish, how long does this, or like this project kind of take you?
Oh, okay. So tomorrow I've got it on my calendar, and I hate to not do it because I think it's fun to do it this way. And I don't have my new VA trained yet. So tomorrow I blocked out an hour. I timed it last night. I did one with 300. I didn't even need the hour. I think I needed about 45 minutes for 300. I think the first time it took me like an hour, maybe hour 15. But once you get it's just a rhythm, guys. Boop, 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 boop. That's all you do.
And then you just match you print labels, I'm assuming, or do you handwrite the address?
I handwrite my ZMAs.
Oh, okay. Okay. They're much more likely to open, right?
Yeah. So the time I did both.
Okay.
I did fancy printed ones, printed labels, right? That are pretty and cursive printed them, right? And everything. I don't think I still think they know that we're tricking them, right? And I just don't do it. I'm putting all this effort into it, and the stamp is real expensive. And a lot of agents will not do the letter campaigns because they are expensive. They're going to blast with postcards, but we do a mix. So yeah.
Great. What else? What other questions are out there?
You guys can unmute and ask questions now too, now that we're kind of done with the presentation.
What color of envelopes do you use, Candice?
Oh, so I recently reshopped in Amazon, and I'm getting 500 of the pastel spring colors in a mix. If you do individual colors, it's always more. And I'm getting 500 for $23.
Wow.
It's the cheapest I could find. I swear, guys.
What size were you saying that you?
I think it's just standard letter size,
Like
and they're
this
now.
size or
Yes,
whatever?
yes. Now there is another way I tried too, and I will mix it up based on my supply, what I have. I think it's the A6 invitation letter, which you can get those envelopes really cheap as well. They're gummed though, and I didn't know how to use them versus peel or whatever. But if you do get those are cheaper, and it's a 4-way fold. It's important how you fold it, guys. Forgot to tell you that. It's real important how you fold it. I think there's a whole psychology to it, honestly. So if you're doing the party envelope, you're going to have a standard paper fold in 4 because it fits in that size, right? So if you're going to do a 9.5 by 11, a letter size, whatever, you're going to fold it in an accordion manner, right? But I put my logo and everything on the front. I fold it to where that sentence is a teaser sentence, right? And then I don't do it overlap. I make sure it's accordion.
I was not folding that way. I was folding like a trifold.
No, we definitely do the accordion, because when they take the effort, if they can't see it, like, so they're going to see this when they open it, right?
Yeah.
So this is your advertising point. It's another point that's going to grab their attention. If you can't get through these points, they're never going to read it. So whatever you choose to do here, whatever, like, you can jazz it up. Or if that's not where you want to do it and you just make sure you fold it according to what you want them to see. So I don't do just a blank, because then you've got to pull it out and then you have to, undo it. So psychologically, I believe this is better. You do the accordion fold, okay? And then when they pull it out, it's just.
And then
Such
what
a
were you
great
saying about
tip. Like I had
like the licking, you said like your sticker holds it together basically?
Yeah. So if you go and opt for those gummed envelopes, so many more colors, so many more options, so much cheaper, like literally almost 10 cents per in my pricing.
Yeah.
And the only reason people get those is because they don't want to lick them. It's faster and they do that, right, all day long. But there is another way, and it's more personal. And then, that sticker doesn't have to be it can be anything. What if it's a spring message, or what if it's whatever, like, get creative with it.
Mm-hmm.
So smart. Well, we are out of time, guys. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Candice, for sharing this awesome info. I am going to edit this playback a little bit, get it up on YouTube, and send a link to everyone so you have it along with Candice's SOP. Join the chat so that we can all be in the conversation as we start working through this. And thank you to Christine and Emily for helping me with moderating the call so that everyone got put in and the questions got answered. So you guys are awesome, and it was really good to see everyone. And we'll get another call on the schedule soon.
May I introduce a small challenge to keep us going? I know we go to a lot of webinars and then we don't implement.
Mm-hmm.
Can we all agree to do 20 or 25 by next week? Because that way, as we're going through it while it's fresh, we'll come up with questions and then we can post it in our group and we can get down to it instead of 6 months later looking back at it. But if we just commit to a simple 20.
I love that.
I love it.
As soon as I get that list, because Candice, this is different than when you first started, right? Like, because I had gotten whatever the Chat GPT thing, but you've like.
I changed it so that your VA doesn't have to edit your CSV. Your CSV comes out clean. That was an extra extra step.
That was awesome.
Perfect.
So cool. And I just also want to say, being on the call and working with Candice, like preparing for the call, she knows so much about Chat GPT that like it blew my mind.
Let's do another one.
And obviously we're out of time for that today, but like questions about that, like throw those in maybe our chat that we're using for this call in the Facebook group, because she knows so much and is such a resource.
If you do, since you're going to be getting into the chat, if you do end up having questions about that, I actually I'll just post in the Facebook page and just post little tips every now and then. Hey guys, do this with your chat if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Everyone, take a quick selfie if you want. If Candice,
I want to just stop the share.
Yeah, stop your screen share, Candice.
Oh, stop I did, didn't I?
And then we'll be able to see everybody if you change
Okay,
your
I'm
view.
so sorry, ladies. Hang on.
You're good.
I was like trying to.
I thought I was
Like,
looking
I was
at you
like,
guys. I'm so sorry. This is so lame. Hang on.
It's okay.
You're doing awesome.
I mean, technology savvy at everything.
Where? Okay,
It's
I
like
cannot
right at
even
the
find where
top.
that screen is. Hang on a second.
Oh, I can do it. I did it.
Yeah,
I did it. Yay. Okay. So everybody can get a picture of the call if you wanted that for your social media. So we can share that we all met today. So happy
Yeah.
to see all your faces.
So good to see you guys.
Thank you.
Wish
Have a great
everyone,
rest of your
Christine,
week.
a happy pregnancy for the last couple weeks she's got left.
Thank you.
Yes, we're gonna have a new visitor on our next call.
Can't
We'll get him to
wait.
work.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Bye,
ladies. I
ladies.
appreciate you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you, Candice.
You got it. Do the thing that gives you the power, ladies. Bye.
Thank you.